And greetings, everyone, and welcome to CyberCast After Dark. That's right. It is Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, July the 30th. And thank you for joining me and joining us and having a good time. We got the chat up. We got everybody here. Jerry's waiting in the backstage area to be brought in and have some good times. We're going to have some cool conversation, I am sure. Just wanted to thank everybody for showing up. Wayne's Real World is in the house already. Thank you, Wayne, for helping out as always. Appreciate that. If you've got questions, comments, when we're in the After Dark, you do have to put like a big giant Q or question or something in front of us so we can kind of see it. It doesn't show up like it does with YouTube. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with Restream, but we'll see how it goes. But before we get too far down the weeds, just wanted to say thanks to a bunch of people for showing up here. Obviously, we've got Jerry. Thank you so much, Jerry, for being here tonight. We'll get to you in just a second. Steve Young. We got Mr. Gunkel, Wayne's Real World. Who else is here? Various Canaries has showed up. James McQuiggan in the house. I don't know if he's at 35,000 feet or not tonight, but we'll see. We also got White Hat Sheepdog. Oh, man. Terrence Billingsley, Port Zero. Loving to see everybody. Some of my ride or dies are here already. Let's go ahead and bring Jer into the mix.
Hey,
Jerry,
what up? Let's party.
You ready to do this, sir?
Bro, I've been thinking about this all day. Let's cook.
You know, this I think is going to be a lot of fun. Hey, because Jerry and I just get along really well. We like to talk. We're both kind of talkers.
Oh yeah.
But Jerry, you are familiar. You're a little familiar with my show, so you know what we've got to do before we get too crazy, right?
I'm not. No, tell me. Is it involve Monster Energy drink? It's too late.
It does involve Monster Energy drinks. See, I knew you'd have it. You'd be with
Okay.
it.
Well, I
In the
know
evening.
you're sponsored by. Do they make evening ones? Like,
No.
does Monster Energy have like a sativa and an indica version? Is that what we're doing here?
I don't know if they have that far, and they're not sponsoring me yet. But there's
Okay.
still hope for
I'm gonna
us,
work
right?
on that. That's like kind of where I'm playing right now. So I'll get on that.
Yes, definitely get on that. But in the evening, instead of using the Lord's camo cup as we normally would, we have a martini glass.
Oh
So we
my
gotta do it
god.
just right? Because it's
You know what? I saw the promotional artwork for this, and I thought it was just like, just something that came up with. I didn't realize this was like a thing. I feel unprepared, Daniel.
No. This is the fun of it because we do this little ASMR, right? I get the microphone nice and close. I really need to get a comically large martini glass because I can't pour the whole monster in, which is kind of lame. So I'll have to upgrade this martini glass eventually. But for right now, it'll do just fine. Tonight's monster for the poor. Any guesses? Throw your guesses. I'll give Jerry. What do you think?
I'm gonna go
What
the
color?
white one. The white one's popular, right?
The white one is very popular. It is the monster that got me hooked on Monster.
Yeah, so I'll go with that. I like to play the odds. I'm kind of a conformist, right?
You know, you were almost right. That's almost the way I went. But
Okay.
I forgot to stick it in the refrigerator and chill it. So I had to get the one that was in
Oh,
there already.
okay.
And
So
are we ready?
Okay. What flavor? What'd you go with?
The flavor tonight is Ultra Blue Hawaiian.
There you go.
Right now, I've only had this once, maybe twice on, I think, IRL, but I recall it's quite the tasty beverage. But we got to get the crack-a-lack. Let's get that crack. Let's see here. Ooh, nice. Had a lot of bass in that crack. That's a weird sentence to say out loud. Oh, let's get a pour going, shall we? Let's see how much I can get in here.
Just let it breathe.
Oh yeah. Ruminate.
I'm gonna compliment this one, Daniel.
Oh. Now it's time. There it is. There it is. Sax music. Everybody was hoping to
I'm
hear
just gonna
it.
let it breathe a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I can smell the blue Hawaiianness already. It's ready to hit the lips. Bro, it should be illegal. It should be illegal.
Honest question. You made the comment, I didn't put the white one in the fridge earlier, so I had to audible. Have you had a warm Monster Energy drink? It's a question for you.
Yeah, a warm Monster, probably, yeah, a couple of times, just because it's you let it sit for whatever reason, you get heads down on something and it warms up. I mean, the best way to have it is on the rocks. You get a nice fizz that goes along with the pour. That's another reason I need a bigger glass, because I'm not getting the fizziness out of it because I don't have any
Okay.
ice. So there's like some magic that happens there that I just miss out on. So we've definitely got to upgrade the cup, but it's not nearly as pleasurable, although you still get the effect that you
and I'm
need,
sure you want a pleasurable Monster experience. I want to be transparent with this crowd. This might end the stream immediately. I've never had a Monster Energy.
What?
Just so you know, and I for the very first time in my life, I had a Celsius like when I was in Atlanta, because I was kind of crashing, and the production team's like, drink one of these. That thing had me like, I thought my chest was going to explode. So I'm not sure if I'm cut out for Monster.
Oh, yeah. So the Monster only has about as much caffeine as a cup of coffee.
Oh, well, I drink a pot of that a day, so.
Yeah, so you should be good to go. It's more of a refreshing little pick-me-up. You're feeling, I call it tackling fuel, because that's what kind of gets me going. I'm ready to rock now, right? I get a little bit of that infused Monster energy, hits the veins, hits the system, and then I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do some damage now. So I tried like
this.
Rain
If I was going to break the ice on Monster and buy one just to kind of get my Monster experience, check the box, like which flavor am I grabbing?
Oh, it's Ultra Zero, white Ultra Zero, zero sugar. It's the gateway drug to all the other Monsters.
Okay. I'll get one. I'll get one.
We discovered throughout the CyberCast streams that it mixes well with other Monsters. So if you want to like create your own flavor, we are thinking about reaching out to Monster and saying, hey, make smaller cans so that we can do a little mixology, and you use it all up and create one Monster. They could be stackable. There's a whole like marketing campaign that they're missing out on.
I like it. I do like it. You could sell little samplers. You could start even having like off-brand kits where you have like the like the recipe books, right? Like Food Network could get involved. I will say, I saw various canaries say it in chat. Like I might be old. I know you and I are probably the same age, Daniel. But like if I do energy, it is Red Bull. No sugar Red Bull. I guess I found, like when I was in college, I would do like Red Bull, like dumbest stuff ever in college, like Red Bull was around in the late 90s, and you'd be like, oh, I'm so wasted. Like, I better just have a Red Bull and vodka, like to like push through. And that was a terrible idea. I don't really do them. If I ever do energy drinks, honestly, it's only once a year or twice a year when I'm doing a 16-hour drive. And even then it's the 5-hour energies, which I don't even think constitutes as a energy drink, because I drink it like a pill, like I just, you slug it. You don't enjoy it at all, even though they have flavors. So that's where I'm at. But I'll do this Monster. Maybe at Wild West Hackin' Fest we can have like a Monster thing.
I'm thinking about doing a special IRL from Wild West Hackin' Fest. So especially if it's going to be your first Monster ever, we would love to capture that on film.
Okay.
Get that in there.
Totally do that. I might need one as a backup, because we're going to be doing the daily cyber threat brief at 6 a.m. local time, live in front of a studio audience. And if I'm going to be doing it in front of the crowd, I do want to be on my best behavior or my highest level performance. So might need to get into that stuff. You know what I mean?
That's right. They're gonna have to start drug testing him. Performance enhancers.
Dude, speaking of that, not that I want to get down this topic, but like my son today I ate lunch with my kids, and he didn't know who James Brown was, and I'm like, oh, let me introduce you to James Brown. So like I pulled James Brown up, like a classic, like 70s. The guy introducing him was like the best hype man ever. He's like, he's the man who can make your knees freeze. He's the man who brings the shiver into your liver, right? It was just like such a great hype man. And then James Brown comes out, and like the crowd is on fire, and before he even starts singing, he like pushes the mic stand back, and while it's rocking, like it should have fallen over. While it's rocking, he does like 3 splits, a 360, and grabs it. He's like, pay the cost to be the boss. And I'm just like, holy crap, this guy is on another level of energy. I know they didn't have Monster Energy drink back then, but he was definitely whatever the 70s equivalent was. I know
what it was called. We're just not allowed to say it without getting demonetized.
It was pure, and he was
Colombian, most likely. Yeah.
But if you get a
He
chance,
enjoyed it.
that's a good rabbit hole to go down. I mean, the guy was wildly talented. I had the pleasure of seeing him at Woodstock '99.
Ooh,
He,
nice.
dude, at Woodstock '99, it was hot as it was very hot. I know it's
It was
after dark,
warm.
but
Yeah.
we'll keep it clean here. It was super hot, and he came out wearing a velvet suit with a velvet cloak. And he did the whole show that way. It looked like he was melting. He was so
I don't know how the
sweaty.
bro had any body fat on him.
Yeah.
He did shows like that. They called him the hardest working man in show business for a reason, because that dude would be like, you think, oh, he's gonna die. We're gonna watch James Brown like die tonight. That's what's up. But no, he continued
part
on.
of I mean, it just he was an entertainer, man. Definitely
Yeah.
an entertainer and great music. His music gets sampled all the time. Like, Pay the
For
Cost
good
to Be the
reason.
Boss is such a good one. Like, I know he's got like Twist and Shout or Twist or whatever it is, but or not Twist, but he's got one that's one of those popular wedding songs. But
yeah, tons of stuff. Well, with that aside, now that we're a little warmed up, we got the motor running. I say we get into some of these comments and questions here in the chat room. I've been seeing some questions from White Hat Sheepdog. Let me grab one of them here. Talking about, can someone truly work in GRC, or is GRC just part of the job with everything else you do? I feel like this is actually like a yes question to maybe both sides of those things in some way. But of course, you're the GRC master, so help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're only hope.
Yeah, thank you. And for those who don't know me, I do work in GRC. I've worked in cyber for 20 years, and I've done a bunch of different things in cyber. But like, I guess I would identify with the GRC track, going from like audit up to CISO. So to your question here, White Hat Sheepdog, like your question is a yes or no question, but honestly, it's like everything else. It really is more nuanced than that. So typically, organizations that don't really have cybersecurity, that need something, they'll start assigning IT people. But if they get budget, they'll hire one person, and that one person is like responsible for everything. And realistically, they are going to be doing GRC functions because they're the only thing to interface between the business and the cybersecurity office. So they are GRC by that nature, but because they're the only one, and I've been in these situations, like you're the one configuring, systems or working directly with IT on patching. You're the one who's taking the phone calls from people who are getting compromised or clicking on silly stuff. You're the one who is like responding to incidents, but you're also filling out questionnaires. You're the face of cybersecurity. So by virtue of that, you are GRC, but you're much more than that. Now, it's a trope. It's been said a million times, but like, information security is everybody's job. It's not just like my job and you can be removed from it. But that's why we do awareness training and educate people on, their function, right? So you said, is it just part of the job? Like, I mean, everybody is trying to protect the organization in some way. In my experience, I have found that most people, whether they work in accounting or they work in IT or their sales or whatever, they all really just want to do their job and go home. None of them are like looking to screw the business over or be malicious. There are some people who are like, a-holes or whatever, but like for the most part, they just want to do their job and go home. Like their job is not their identity. They're just trying to make some money and, go to their kid's soccer game or something like that. So, but the whole reason I bring that up, White Hat Sheepdog, is because if you don't know that that's a bad email, or you don't know that help desk isn't going to call you and tell you that you need to reset your password immediately, you're just going to make the best decision you have with the information that you currently have and the knowledge that you possess. And you're going to fall for these crafty social engineering attacks or these phishing attacks and such. So by educating, you're enabling these people to be kind of your frontline offense. So, or frontline defense. So GRC is everyone's job in that capacity, but, everybody in the information security team has to do kind of GRC stuff, but there is a function within cybersecurity, I promise you, that is exclusively GRC and very, very focused on a very specific function.
Yeah, I think the question then becomes, do you just want to do GRC, or do you just want to help people that are doing GRC? And there you go. So you got to kind of think of those things as you're going throughout your daily grind of whatever cyber job you're doing. If it's not GRC properly, how does this affect that? How are we being affected by GRC and contributing to the solution instead of the problem? Because
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that, and this isn't 100% black or white thing to say, but like I like to think that GRC is more like broader thinking,
Mm.
like bigger picture, and that's not better or worse than blue or red, but like blue and red, it's like much more tactically focused, and like you're writing a detection for a very specific set of circumstances, or you're reviewing a very specific threat actor in the TTPs and what you got to think about, or you're responding to a incident of user clicking on thing. So it's very tactical execution. That's why you have tickets and cases where you're working them. Whereas GRC is much bigger, broader, strategic thinking, which is why the CISOs typically come out of the GRC space. Not exclusively, but to me, those are kind of two dimensions. And when I tell people like, do you want to work in GRC? That's like one of the things I talk about is like, there's not a right or wrong answer. Like you can work in GRC and not enjoy it. You can also work in SOC and not enjoy it. Like, what kind of challenges do you like? What kind of person are you? How do you think? Like, what gets you excited? Because at the end of the day, like you can do either job. It's so.
Yeah, it was funny when I talked with Jacob Swinzinski. He was talking about how one of his first jobs was as a pen tester, and when like, I don't mean just like last week's IRL or whenever we talk, not IRL, but After Dark. When I first met him, he was telling me how pen testing wasn't everything it was cracked up to be for him. Like it was cool, but it wasn't. It wasn't really like stirring his tea as well as it did in his mind when he was thinking about getting into it. Once he got into that, he was like, I'm ready to make a pivot. And that very well may be the case. I do see people do that a lot where they're like, oh, I thought this was going to be more enjoyable. And that's why I think like yourself and me and others that we kind of like that are within our little circles, we try to let people know that there's a lot of actual work that's involved with any of these jobs. So you got to keep that in mind. And it's easy to romanticize that this is just going to be hands-on keyboard, hacking, awesome hoodies and monsters flowing like fountains. It's like, maybe a little bit sometimes, yeah, but not all the time. Sometimes you got to
No,
do ROE calls, and sometimes you got to do GRC stuff, and sometimes you got to do an audit and do scoping and writing reports. There's a lot of do peer review, right? There's a lot that goes on with this stuff.
yeah, in anything, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the thing that you romanticize about is the cool part that you like, but it's never easy. Even like bigger picture things, like look at whatever, like who's someone that's super rich, like Kobe Bryant, right? Or whatever. Like Kobe Bryant had a helicopter. Kobe Bryant, like NFL or NFL, NBA MVP, right? All that. And you're like, oh my God, like what a life. Wow. But you don't see him at 6 a.m. shooting 3,000 free throws every day for 25 years, right? Like if you did that, maybe you'd have a chance too. But like after like 200 free throws, you're like, this sucks. Like I don't want to be here and then come back tomorrow. But I'm sure, Kobe, that's like he was dialed in on it. So not everything is for everyone, but yeah, 100%. It isn't everything. And even on the pen testing side, man, like I've heard people say that two things about pen testing, just to kind of pick at it, because people outside the industry love pen testing because it's the cool, sexy side.
That tends to be the
stuff,
most
right?
romanticized, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but like I've heard, people say like, oh, pen testing's kind of lonely, right? I mean, you can like bounce ideas off friends when you're stuck, but for the most part, you're in and you're focused and you're doing your thing. And then another thing I've heard is like, it's the same findings week in and week out because like people aren't patching their crap or people aren't like, you're not getting to do the cool sneakers movie with like the Elite Zero Day and the laser pointer across the city block. You know what I mean? Like you're punching, whatever, Eternal Blue, calling it a day.
I've got to get someone that does physicals all the time to come in on the show, because that is probably, if I were to guess at any one job in cyber being the sexy, cool thing almost all the time, it's probably physical assessments. The people that are looking to actually make physical access into your system one way, shape, or form, either through badge cloning and getting past like Dorota. I can't pronounce her last name, so I will not butcher it. But she did her first talk at Wild West Hacking Fest Denver, and she started going down that road. And the stories she is now starting to be able to tell, and the information that she's giving out to people, it's really interesting. And then, of course, you read about these people, or you listen to the Darknet Diaries that of those folks that are working in that capacity all the time.
Yeah.
They seem to really have like a really cool job that probably doesn't get too boring.
You know who would be a great guest?
Who's that?
So a guy, he's a Twitch streamer named Al Red, and
Okay.
I only know him because I did a talk show in Vegas that was never released, and he was one of my guests that came on, and he does physicals a lot, and he told me the story, and he's like, I don't know, he's just a really interesting personality, but he told me a story. He's like, one of the difficult things is like you're straight up lying to people's faces all the time, and like in some instances, like they're real humans with real problems. So he's like, sometimes you're dealing with someone who's having a rough day, and like that if you tap into that emotion and you empathize with them, you're going to be able to wrap them around your finger and get whatever it is you want to achieve your goal, and you do it. But he's like, man, it takes a special kind of, like, not that he's saying he's a special kind of person, but he's like, you really have to like put aside, and I saw Kathy Chambers put it in chat that she likes people too much to be a pen tester, but she's like, he told me, he's like, you kind of have to put it aside. He's like, this guy's having a tough day, and after what I'm about to do to him, his boss is going to make his day worse. And he's like, and I knew it. And he's like, I did it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it does kind of feel weird, right? Like like you said, I'm going to straight up go to these people and lie to them to their face. And you're also doing that thing where you might be breaking into a room, you might be using a cloned badge and going, I mean, I guarantee there's a bunch of like, okay, I'm about to badge into this door. There's got to be a certain level of excitement that goes along with any physical.
Sure. Dude, even what Jason Street, is it? He's
like
a really well-known. He's got some
like
interesting YouTube videos where like he literally walks into a bank, walks behind the teller, pushes the teller out of the way while she's waiting on a guy, and she's like, "Excuse me," and he's like, "I'm from IT. I just got to do," like he was like a wicked peckerhead to her, and and he did it all.
So like, I've heard him tell that story before, and I was like, he is not wrong, right? Like when I was on IT, like when I did workstation support and then I became a sysadmin, they would send you out. So I worked for an insurance company, and we had an office in every county in Florida, if not multiple offices in every county in Florida. So I would have to get in a little IT van and go and service equipment, and just like our chief officer, he wanted me to like give them a face, to say, well, we're giving you some like specific attention. So I would go out to do that, service equipment, change out old stuff for new stuff, and then go, hey, if you're having any issues, I'm here. Might as well take advantage of the fact that I'm sitting here. They never asked for credentials. I would just walk in. They've never seen me a day in their lives. And I would go, I'm from IT, from the home office. I'm here to change this equipment for that equipment. And they were like, okay. And they would get out of the way, and they were like, do you need any help? Do you need anything? They're like, people are super friendly and helpful. And that's really what people like Jason are utilizing, is the fact that most people just believe you, if you speak with authority, that you're supposed to be there and you're supposed to be doing whatever it is you're doing. Forget the fact that you got a back door built into this piece of equipment you're slogging in and changing out. They don't know. They don't care. They're just like, hey, well, what am I going to do? They
just want to get their job done and let you do your job, and like literally get you out of there because you're inconveniencing them. Yeah. It's crazy, but I mean, that's the deal. But the thing is, obviously, like you said, with your heart thumping, if you walk in there and you're like, I'm from IT, they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta have control over the emotional state, because if you get in there and you're like, my name's Brian, and I'm here to do some equipment change. They're gonna be like, "What is this guy on drugs? Like, what's going on here? This is the hardest working man in IT."
Just call the central office really quick. While you're talking right now, I'm actually having AI generate a picture of you in your IT van, because as you were describing it, I got a mental model. So I'm gonna pull it up for chat in a minute. I actually have actual footage of Daniel when he was going from the counties in Florida. It's rendering right now, so just stand by.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, here's a funny one, though. I want to throw this up there. Random question. This is from Travis. Do you guys stream and do your videos on Windows or Linux?
Okay, good question.
That's an interesting little question. Yeah.
I'll go first. So, I stream a lot, and I used to stream on Apple. So I was in the Apple ecosystem I used to do consulting. I was with Booz Allen for a number of years, and then I was at a large medical situation, and I was on Apple products the whole time. Loved it. Loved the Apple ecosystem, iPhone to whatever. And
Sure.
then I started streaming, and I got a Mac Mini, the M1 chip though, the very first time when they switched to the M1s,
Yeah.
and I did it, but for what I do, and like once you start running multiple apps and streaming, and you're doing high bandwidth things, and you're doing high res things, you need horsepower. And I actually switched over to Windows because I needed like a high end graphics card. I needed high end processor and all that. So I run Windows now, but I did enjoy Apple, and I would go back to Apple. I honestly, and again, I don't know if this sounds like a pretentious prick thing, but like I've been playing in IT for like 30 years. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You give me a Linux machine, I'll get my work done. You give me a Windows machine, I'll get my work done. It like the idea of, like back in like the 90s, like a Linux machine was just a terminal shell, and you'd have to like load drivers, and like you definitely weren't going to print anything. So like, but nowadays they're interchangeable. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's just become like, what's your poison? What do you like best? You can get it done. So if you like Linux better, you go get it done. I mean, I think there's probably now that like the M4 series are out, you probably have a much better experience with streaming, especially if you're not doing crazy like 4K stuff. As long as you're just staying around 1080 and you got a good internet pipe, as long and you got something that's close to modern within the last few years, you should be all right. But hey, at the end of the day, it's not the you'll get there. To me, that's kind of like it's always like a journey. Don't try to start off as some pro spending $1,500 on cameras and lights and sound and ATEMs and this, that, and the other, and monitors and $300 microphones. You'll get there. Just start putting out the content. Just start cranking out. Get your name out there. Get your thoughts out there, and become a part of that community. And that's how you give back. It doesn't matter if you're using Potato Phone. I think Tyler Ramsey was talking about this the other day. He's like, I'm using my cell phone. Your cell phone's got a phenomenal camera in it. It can stream. Like if you just set your phone up on a tripod and hit stream now, go live, you can schedule, you can do all that stuff through the apps. So get buck wild. Just use that. Get a lapel mic, and you're in it for. You already got the phone. So
I 100% agree with you. Like you should definitely not. In my opinion, you should invest $0 before you haven't streamed for like either 10 streams or like a month of streaming. Like figure out if you even like it, figure out if you want it, and then figure out where your pain points are, because it's a lot of work. Daniel and I were just talking right before the show started about how much work it is. Like it might look like you're just having a teleconference call, but like Daniel had to like call me, line up this meeting, get the schedule going, do the promotions, tell people about it. You know what I mean? Like it's not trivial. You don't just show up. Like if you show, I'll tell you this much, okay? And this is a fact because I've been doing this for years. If you just show up, it's going to look like you just showed up. If you've ever watched someone stream and you're like, this sucks, do you know why? Because they just showed up. That's what's up.
Like Gerry just mic drop. He's out. That was it. Thanks for joining us, Jared. That was good stuff, brother.
Because I moved my camera, so I have the better light. Again, like talk about streaming. I actually don't have my ideal lighting set up behind me. I want red and blue, not just hot pink. I want it to really represent that retro synthwave vibes. So you don't
want to look like you're in the honeymoon suite at the motel. Whatever, off the highway.
Hey, if you could, can you get me a couple extra quarters? The bed stopped shaking over here.
Yeah, man. You can't have that. That's bull crap.
See, look at this. Now we're talking. Look at this.
There you go.
Little red, blue, purple team action.
Right. Well, look at me. I got a green light. I got a blue light. Like you got to have, like, it takes a minute to get things looking really good.
Yeah.
But once you do, and that comes from, go watch my first videos, right? It's just me in a bedroom with a bookcase behind me and a microphone on my desk. I sound like I'm in an echo room, right? Like there's a lot of reverb going on. And then you go, okay, you watch it and you ask some people to watch it and give you some constructive criticism. And they go, okay, upgrade the audio, right? Audio's step one. You get the audio down, you're literally like 75% there, right? If you get good audio going.
You know what? Honestly, I would even go as far as to say, like, don't rob yourself of the opportunity to go back 2 years and see how crappy your streams were. Like, if you were to start your streams amazing on day one, you're doing yourself a disservice, because like what Daniel just said, if you go back and look at my early stuff, it's trash. And like, it's almost, come on, get in focus. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
All right. It's almost hilarious to see how awful it is. And like, you just learn subtle tricks of the trade. Like perfect example. Okay. People who stream, they may not think about like what their background looks like. And while this isn't any great shakes, this is better than if you go back and look at some of our earlier videos where like I have like a bed, I have like my wife's sewing set up and everything like that. There's like lights blowing everything out. Like, you know, it's interesting, just the subtle nuances of it. In fact, I mean, I'm not here to like pitch a class or anything, but like I literally a couple times a year will do a course where I educate people on how to actually stream and create content, and more importantly, do it in a way that like can help you professionally and impact your career in a positive way. But like, it's the devil's in the details. But honestly, I feel like it's the difference between reading a cookbook and cooking, right? I bet you everyone in this chat has cooked before and your food sucked when you started, and now you can make a pretty diesel omelet, right? It's because you worked through it. You didn't read more cookbooks.
I always say, Gerry, don't rob yourself of struggling through things. And that relates right back to the cyber stuff, right? Don't go, okay, I want a perfect walkthrough and then I'll know how to do this because I saw X, Y, or Z person do it, and now I've got a nice methodology. There's nothing wrong with watching those polished. I mean, I make those videos. We know a lot of people that make those videos, right? But getting hands-on with it, going, okay, I'm gonna spin this up and I'm just gonna try until I get to a spot where I legit don't know what to do next, or I can't figure it out. Then you go and look it up and you figure, okay, I'm gonna follow that. And trust me, even though you're gonna have someone showing you exactly what steps to do, you're probably still gonna have a problem and have to go, okay, all right. And trust me, in that struggling, in working through those things and kind of feeling that rough edge and you polishing it down to a nice smooth bore, you're going to be better for the siege of it. Trust me. And it's totally worth it at the other end because you get experience. You get to learn how to deal with it. You know a little bit more about it. You're going to have to learn about those technologies and how they work. And the same thing goes with doing the streaming thing. It all relates, no matter what it is you're doing. If you just try to run to the finish line as fast as you possibly can, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you missed out on because you bypassed the journey. The journey is the thing.
Yeah.
At least it is for me.
No, you're 100%, right? I mean, have you ever seen that graphic where it's like a dot here and then a dot here, and there's like a massive squiggly line, and it's like a straight line next to it. And it's like people think this is what the journey is, and like this actual hot mess is what the journey actually is. I 100% agree with you. Really quick, I just want to give a shout out to chat right now. There's so many like just friends in chat that are bringing up such deep cuts. Like there's clearly a deep Simply Cyber like blue badge type community in here right now. People are talking about my garage episode, which was like 3 years ago. I did it from the garage, dude. I had like I was sitting on like a bicycle. I did one video in my hallway once, and I had one where the kids are in the background, they wouldn't stop, and I just filmed it and sent it. So like everybody knows these videos. Like again, it's iconic. It's iconic.
Right. We grow together, right? As your audience grows and the people that are with you from day one, it's like you guys have all that stuff together in common. You're building that common language, you're building that common experience. I wouldn't trade that for $1 million, man.
I love it. We got a question, but before we do the question, really quick, let's see what Daniel looked like driving around in a little tiny van everywhere. There we go. Look at that. I think this is fairly accurate, right?
Yeah. That was my old IT van. It was a good van, though. You know, you couldn't kill her. I could drive her through a brick wall, and did a couple of times. You know, you got to lay off the monster, and you're trying to get from county to county.
The prompt was definitely like a man too large for this van.
Oh, I am loving it though, Gerry. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
Loving
Thank you.
it.
I
Now I just got to
appreciate
figure
it.
out how to get rid of it. There we go.
I got it for you, buddy.
Excellent. Now there is a question I think is, or at least maybe not a question, more of a comment. that is a little kind of in the vein of what we were just talking about. And this comes from Computer Cyber KW. It says, I'm really in love with this field. I don't know why, but I'm feeling tired and hating it. I took too many rests. I don't know why I still struggle. And this is really, I'm just really feeling tired. And it sounds like what they're saying is, I'm putting in the effort. I'm really working at it. I got my nose to the grindstone, and now it's starting to feel like kind of like I'm not into it anymore. A little bit of burnout going on here. Gerry, what do you think about? What do you say about burnout in cyber?
Yeah, I mean, so computer cyber K dubs. I totally hear you. It is true. Here's the thing you got to remember: as someone coming into the industry, um, you may not realize it, but cybersecurity is like massive. It's super vast. I've been working in it, 20 plus years, and there's like tons of things that I don't know the slightest about. Okay. And it's just like science, right? Like you could spend 20 years learning biology and you know nothing about like thermodynamics, but it's still science, right? So you just try not to get overwhelmed with the sheer volume of all the things and kind of dial in and focus on the things that you need and have a plan. It is hard, man. It is hard. And like we were talking about earlier in the conversation here, not everything is rainbows and unicorns, right? Some things are, like I actually had a friend, it's kind of a weird metaphor, but like him and his girlfriend ended up breaking up, and it worked out because he married someone else long term. But they were in a great relationship. It just because she wanted to go out every night, and my buddy said, "Hey, listen, some nights we have spaghetti and meatballs. Okay, some nights we stay in and just watch Seinfeld, right? Like we're not getting crazy every night. Some nights it's just doing what we're going to do here. And I feel like that could be it too. Like, and I'm kind of dialing in on the fact that you said you're tired and getting a bit frustrated. I feel like if you, and again, I don't know if this is your exact situation, but I've seen this time and time again. I feel like if you are standing in a spot and you want to get to this finish line 30 feet away, let's even just say that 30 feet in a circle around you is the finish line. You could literally walk in any direction. You could walk towards GRC. You could turn around and walk towards pen testing. But no matter what, you walk 30 feet, you get there. And what a lot of people do, and it's not wrong, it's just reality, is they'll take 2 steps forward. Okay. And they're like, oh, yeah, this GRC is hot. Oh, so hot. Like, let me get some audits. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, detection engineering. Wade Wells is cool. Let me look. Oh, Daniel Lowry's got some hardware hacking. That's sexy. And then, it's a year later and you're like, you've moved 1 foot away from the center because you've kind of been like orbiting around it and walking, not meandering, but like you're not executing on a dedicated path to get to a goal. And it can be frustrating because you spend a year, you're busting your hump, you're putting in all the work, and then you pause and you look around and you're like, oh my God, like I should have made more progress than this. I should be speaking at conferences, or I should be working in industry. What the hell's going on here? And the problem is that you're not executing on a deliberate plan. And again, I'm not trying to throw shade at you. I don't even know your situation specifically, but I've just seen it multiple times. It's like shiny keys or something like that. You're like, oh, like this is cool over here. And honestly, it is cool. I've taken Daniel's classes on hardware hacking. It's really cool, but I took it as like a fun hobby thing, not as something to advance my career, because I knew it wouldn't. Now, I will say early in your career, you may not know exactly what you want to do, and you are kind of sampling the buffet. And the things that you are sampling from the buffet will help you ultimately long-term in many ways. But you do have to be kind of walking towards one direction if you're hoping to achieve it. So that's what I would say about that. And with burnout in general, I guess if you have a plan, you can start putting in like mini milestones and achieving them and having celebrations for them. But, sometimes it's hard work. And honestly, I want to say something that I say occasionally, and it's a hard thing to hear, but the reality is, and dude, when I have to say real truths like this, Daniel, it hurts me. I had to tell people earlier today that the market is not good right now and it sucked. The reality is all the work you put in to train to work in cyber is preparing you for all the work that you will do in cyber. It's not, you don't get the job in cyber and then plateau. Like you constantly are having to continue leveling up as you work in industry, because tech changes, threat actors change. Like when cloud came out, I had to get, I'd worked in industry like 15, 16 years and cloud came out. I'm like, what the hell? What is this? Like, I've got the same knowledge on cloud as, a 15-year-old Casually Joseph at the time, right? And I love Casually Joseph. He's in chat right now. But my point is, it doesn't matter that I've got 15 years of experience and Casually Joseph is in 8th grade. It's because we have the same experience with that tech stack. So we both have to learn now. You know what I mean? But it's a benefit, right? Because if you learn how to learn, which is actually a skill, learning how to learn, then you can pick up new technologies, new concepts, new skills faster, quicker, more effectively, and then be able to communicate. So I hope that helps Computer Cyber K-Dub, and I hope that helps everybody in chat.
Yeah, it's great advice. I really liked your advice about you got to kind of pick a lane and eventually kind of land on, like you said, you're sampling the buffet to begin with, but ultimately you got to go, okay, this is the path I'm going to go down until I achieve some level of success there. And then when it comes to burnout for me, like I don't get to do hack the box all the time. I don't get to do try hack me all the time. I'm too busy creating content, doing live streams, doing stuff like that. My life has kind of moved away from so much of the training side of things, where those things are very relevant for helps as and that kind of stuff. And I get to miss that. Whereas before, when you're just doing try hack me rooms every day and you're struggling through a hack the box thing every day, it can get a little mundane. It can get a little like, this isn't fun anymore. It's ice cream, man. If you eat it every day, it's not a treat. So you got to take a step back. And when you're learning and you're in that learning cycle, you got to eat chunks at a time. You cannot just continually consume from the buffet table.
Yeah.
You're going to get bloated. You're going to get full. You're going to be like, I'm done. I got to push away from this. So just keep that in mind. Take good scheduled breaks. Push yourself away from the table from time to time. As I think John Hammond used to say, get off the treadmill, right? You don't have to stay on the treadmill 24/7. You need to take breaks, rest a little bit, and you'll come back refreshed and ready to hit it again.
I'm glad you shared that. I'm like, I'll self-admit I'm notorious at not taking breaks, and I probably should more often. I'm not good at it. Like,
yeah, super guilty.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at chat here. What's going on? Let me see here. I noticed that Casually Joseph did show up. I'd like to. Yeah, you did mention that he's in there. It's nice to always have Cashmere in the house.
I do love Cashmere.
Yeah, I do love Cashmere. Let's see here. Okay, here's going back to what we were talking about earlier, part 2 question, saying they met Philip Wiley and Jessica Hoffman, heard them talk, learned lockpicking, just started CPTS journey, made a YouTube and Twitch account, just need to put the work in. Any advice? Gerry, what would you say?
So are we talking about advice to like starting a YouTube channel? Is that?
Yeah, I think they're feeling like kind of going back to where we were telling people, just get going. Doesn't matter about the equipment. I think they're now speaking to the fact of like, what's the first thing I should do? Should I, you know what I'm saying? Like, what should my content be?
Well, I mean, so for my best tip that I can give anyone in this chat right now, and I've said this for years, and I live this advice, is anything that you're going to do, if you can synergize it with anything else you're doing, do it, because you're going to get economies of scale. And if that sounds like a bunch of corporate bullcrap that I just spewed at you, let me break it down. Basically, like, okay, so Straw Hat Sec is working on their CPTS journey. That would be phenomenal. I bet you a lot of people who don't know about CPTS would like to know what it is. I bet you a lot of people who don't know how to achieve the goals that a CPTS could give you would like to know that. I bet you a lot of people who are wanting to take the CPTS would like to see what a journey could look like and learn best practices. I bet you some people would love to do live streams and do, study aids for the exam and stuff like that. So right there, you could make an A-load of content around CPTS, ultimately make it a playlist after you achieve it and move on to the next thing. And you would be delivering value into the network. You'd be holding yourself accountable because you're like, I got to make a video weekly, right? I'm going to make a video on Mondays, and it's Saturday and college football's on, and you're like, damn, man, I really just want to watch my game, or I got a cookout. But you know what? I got that stream I got to do. And, I really do need to study CPTS, like domain, whatever. You know what? I'll make it a priority, because now I'm getting 2 birds with that 1 stone. and it'll ensure that you are. It's kind of the Feynman method too, right? So if you are familiar with Richard Feynman or not, go Google him. But his technique is to if you can tell somebody and educate somebody about something, then you know it. If you can't, if you just studied something and then you try to turn around and tell me about it and you do a crap job of it, you don't understand it. So by doing it and then making content, you're going to be reinforcing the learning. So versus working on CPTS, having your normal job, and then making content about the different sims, right? Like just like something completely related to cyber, but completely not aligned or overlapping or synergizing in any way with what the other content you're trying to make is, or the other work you're trying to do. Make it all overlap, and you'll get way more benefit from it. And it's a life hack basically to accomplish more crap in the same amount of time.
Just had to throw that in there. We got a little Simply Cyber DNA going in here because James McQuiggan dropped a dad joke on us, and I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, no, I do love James McQuiggan. I've got hopefully you heard my Nelson laughing there for a minute.
I do love it. But yeah, so funny. But I love that, right? Just find your passion, find whatever it is that you're working on, and just get started with stuff. Don't worry about it being, the top tier. Like I tell people all the time, I was just talking about this the other day. It might have been on your show, Gerry, about like, you don't have to be an influencer. Forget all that. It's all it's about is getting your voice out there, showing your skills, trying to contribute and helping yourself and others. That's why I started my YouTube channel, because I needed to learn stuff. I still do. I think White Hat Sheepdog was actually asking about a mentor. And let me find that, there it is. Yeah, he was asking, how many mentors do you have? It seems like without mentors, everything seems to take longer. I will say that is almost invariably the case. A lot of times, if you do want to fast track learning, understanding, having somebody in your life that can help explain those things is a great thing. And for those people that are out there that are lending themselves to mentoring somebody, hats off, right? Because you have skills. Gerry, you probably remember, we're old enough to remember that the mentorship we got back in the day was RTFM, kid.
Yeah, if you got that. Because we didn't have
if they were
Discord
nice
servers
enough.
or YouTube. We didn't have any of that crap. Like
Nah.
it was like literally you dial into a BBS and hope you got some good information.
Yeah, and then you had to lurk around long enough to where someone went. It's kind of like, to me, I equated like this. I know a lot of us kind of like go to the gym or do that kind of thing, or have been. January 2nd rolls around, that gym is packed. Right? Yeah. Everybody and their brothers there. You can't find a machine. There's not a weight to be found. You can't get the right bar you need, or the rope, or the pulley, or whatever it is you need, because there's so many people in the gym. By February 2nd, it's a little bit leaner. There's not so many people in the gym. And then by the next month, it's just the people that are always going there that always go there. So and someone that started going to the gym way back in the day, I saw that, and no one would talk to you. No one would give you the time of day because they just expected you to leave. They expected you to come in here, shoot your shot, and go, well, I tried to work out and it just didn't work out, life, whatever. And then you disappear. So no one wants to invest in you at that point. Yeah. So I kind of get that old school mentality, but now it's different, right? Now we have so much and we want to give back. I can make it available. I can mentor you without directly mentoring you by making YouTube videos available, by doing Hack the Box walkthroughs, by doing whatever. Gerry does his daily threat brief. He has jaw jacking, and we can all come together in chats like this and just, have conversations.
Yeah.
And you can interact with a whole community of people and not just us. So we all kind of mentor each other in a lot of ways nowadays. And I think that's been for the better.
No, it is 100% for the better. And, two things that I've noticed too. One is, and I don't know, this is anecdotal evidence, but I feel like this is true. There are, like, anyone who's worked in industry for like more than 10 years, right? And as you get further up, 15 years, 20 years, but in cyber, like, once you pass that 10-year mark, you almost want to give back. Like, I find so many people, because of what I do with Simply Cyber, that reach out to me and they're like, how can I help? Like, how can I get involved? Or you'll see them in Discord answering questions and giving their advice and stuff like that. And it's almost like like a parent, you know what I mean? They're not, chastising or something, but they're like, it's like teaching your kid how to tie their tie or something. It's like, like, oh, I want to pass this knowledge on. I really see a lot of seasoned professionals who are just self-motivated and desire that opportunity to give back, almost like a philanthropic way. And I love it. I love it. So don't think that there aren't mentor opportunities. I mean, we're kind of insulated because Daniel and I both roll around in like really cool communities that are super supportive and super fun. And if you're here right now, you already know about them or you're learning about it by attending this webinar. But I feel like there's more good ones than there are toxic ones in 2025. It just used to suck, frankly. So I'm a big fan of what we have now. And I'll be really candid with y'all too. Like, remember, some mentors, it's like, I do jaw jacking 5 days a week, right? So like you're constantly getting answers and opportunities and stuff like that. But sometimes, maybe you just need help with something specific and someone has that knowledge and they can help you. I feel like I used to think that mentorships meant like this, like, a Jedi Knight, Padawan, long-term thing, Obi-Wan, Anakin Skywalker, like you're bound to life of this person being your lead. And in reality, you can have like very transactional mentorships. You can have longer-term mentorships. I myself have like, they're kind of like friend/mentor situations, but I mean, I have maybe like 7 or 8 different people that I meet with once a month for an hour and just kind of rap with them, and I'll mentor them, they'll mentor me, or we'll share tips. Like Perry Carpenter is a perfect example. I had a call today with Perry. It's our monthly call. We talked for an hour. We talked about green screens. Right? I'm thinking about getting a green screen. He's done green screens before. We talked all about green screens for like an hour. Maybe next month we get on the call and he's like, hey, like I wanted to start doing things with like the media and news. Like, do you know anyone? And I know someone at CNN. So like this happened like a few years ago, but like, I mean, a few months ago, but like I put him in contact and we talked about how to like maximize that. So like, I don't know. I guess just don't think. I want people to not think of mentoring as like one specific construct of what a relationship looks like, and think about it that it can exist many different ways. A mentorship is literally just knowledge share and caring about the person to acquire the knowledge.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal point. An excellent point is there's many different ways in which you could find yourself in a mentor-mentee relationship. You just got to look for those good connections and realize, oh, I'm learning from these people. Like Gerry and I, man, when we finally get the ability to sit in an airport together or at a dinner table together somewhere, the ideas and the weird stuff that kind of comes out of us, all of a sudden it just starts sparking things. And we're not necessarily trying to teach each other something. We're just like, that's an interesting idea. Did you think about this? Or did you think about that? And then, and then so much interesting stuff and useful stuff comes out of those conversations. That's why we look forward to every year making that kind of thing happen. So you just got to find those people. You got to find those communities. And yes, someone did say like finding that one-on-one mentorship, that is valuable. That's super gold. If you can find somebody that's willing to do that, it's totally worth it. But don't like sleep on the fact that there's other great ways to get mentorship, and that you're not getting that in your everyday life. That said, we just got a little bit of time left. And Gerry, I wanted to get your take on something that's in the news today. I know you're probably gonna, I don't know if you talked about it today or not, but I saw it today and I thought this would be kind of fun. Let's see here. Is this the right screen? Yeah, here we go. Palo Alto.
Oh my God, I did see that. I saw this when I was on the phone with Perry.
$25 billion deal for CyberArk targets rising AI-driven threats. This was an interesting read. Like, two very large companies, and we got somebody that's working for Palo Alto in the chat, so that's fun. We saw this week, and it even mentions it, I think, in here about with Google, with Wiz. What is your thoughts and opinions on articles that have no pictures, and and just the idea that all these tech companies seem to be, I don't know, absorbing each other, and you think this is a good thing? You think it's a bad thing? What's your take on that?
Well, okay, so I'll answer that question, but just as a quick hot take, Palo Alto bought CyberArk for $25 billion. CyberArk has a $20 billion valuation. So like literally they spent 25% more than what it was worth, which is insane to me. Like I wasn't aware of like a hot run on CyberArk, but okay. So anyway, good for the people at CyberArk. I'm sure that somebody's got a new boat today. All right, now as far as the consolidation of services into these like conglomerates, on the surface, I like it because basically it allows you okay, so this is a very complicated question to answer. So I like
You're
the
welcome.
Idea, yeah, thanks a lot. So let's lay the playing field for a second. So when you have innovation, you allow companies to compete with each other and come up with innovative, cool ways to solve problems, and that's how that happens, right? Now, with the conglomerates, when they acquire, like let's say like Wiz is like a darling right now. Wiz is a unicorn. So Google wants to acquire them. When Google acquires them, they'll still be Wiz, but they're going to slowly change into like whatever Googlefy is. And what's going to end up happening is anyone that's using Wiz, it's going to work, but then probably like within 12 months after acquisition, the platform is going to change. There's going to be integrations into the probably Google Workspace and the whole Google side. You see this more obviously with like EDR solutions. So like when Cisco acquired AMP, which was an EDR solution, it became Cisco, Cisco XDR, EDR, whatever they call it now. And you're still using AMP under the hood. All they did was change the branding on the outside and give it dark mode. But now you're using a tool that wasn't natively developed to work inside this platform. It's very much like, it's like putting Mr. Potato Head together, right? Like you can stick all the things in the places, but like the eyes don't go in the ear hole, but you can jam it in there. So like you can put all the pieces together and be like, look at my Mr. Potato Head. It's a single pane of glass of the tech stack. I've got the SIM hat, I've got the EDR eyes, I've got the MDM mouth, and look, it all looks good. But then when you physically use it as a end user, the ears are in the, in the mouth, the eyes are in the ears, the mouth is on the butt. Like it's just it's there, but it doesn't work super well. And unfortunately, they're going to lay off a bunch of people when they consolidate. So there's a workforce issue that goes with that. But then you also lose a lot of internal knowledge on how the friggin' tool works. So then when you have a problem with your solution and you call Palo Alto to talk about your CyberArk problem, they're like, yeah, no, that's what we do. Just go ahead and reference the Palo Alto knowledge base article. And you're like, none of this is helping me. So, but having said that, you go through this turbulent period, and then after 3, 4, 5 years, they get it all sorted out. It's totally homogenized into the tech stack, and you're good to go. So I like it long term. I think it's going to stifle innovation, because what you're going to end up having is you're going to end up having this situation that Microsoft demonstrated perfectly, which is, look at Microsoft Teams. No one likes Microsoft Teams, but the fact that your business has bought M365 and it comes with Microsoft Teams, well, guess what? You're using, which used to be Skype, right? And I think Microsoft owns Skype, so that's not a perfect example of acquisition. But my point is,
well, wasn't I think Skype was an acquisition?
Was it? It was an.
Yeah.
I thought, for some reason, I thought Microsoft produced Skype, but
yeah,
my point
I think there was Skype, and then it became Skype for Business when it fell under Microsoft.
Okay,
and then that turned into Teams.
But you get my point. That's a seminal case of Skype coming in. And then it ultimately became Teams. Skype for Business sucked. Microsoft Teams, everybody complains about. And you're going to have to use it. A lot of businesses will cancel their Zoom subscription because CFO is going to be like, why would we pay for this? We already have it in our native stack. And that's what these big players want to do. The reason they're paying $25 billion for CyberArk is because Palo Alto wants to make a play in the identity space, which is like the hot new border. And they need, but on top of all, now I'm getting frothy, dude. On top of it all, right? Listen, on top of it all, these large businesses, they're not just trying to acquire and stifle innovation. They also are competing with each other. Like there's this country club that Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Palo Alto, like if you keep it in just the security space, like, Palo Alto, Cisco, Microsoft, obviously, they all go to the same country club, and the 6 of them are competing with each other. And if Palo Alto doesn't make this play for identity, well, then they're going to not be able to compete when friggin' Cisco goes to the Fortune 500 company or the Fortune 10 company, like let's say Shell Gas or Mobil, Exxon Mobil, and they're like, hey, I know you've got 500,000 endpoints. Our solution is one price, $3 million a year, and you get identity, endpoint, mobile, SIM. You get it all. What's Palo Alto got? Oh, they got firewalls. Sweet. We got firewalls too. Like you want they can't compete in the market, so they are forced to make acquisitions. I don't think CyberArk's any great shakes, but you know what? It probably was for sale. So you're going to get into these situations where I don't know, like long term, it's fine. Eventually, they'll all consolidate into one friggin' superpower, and then they'll antitrust lawsuit and get them destroyed. What?
This is the Gerry we came to see, man. This was it right here. This is. I was like, I'm gonna save this one for last. It's gonna be fun. I know my boy gonna have something to say about this little interesting thing.
Like Daniel just wheels out like a 50-gallon trash can barrel size with a red button on top, and he's like pushing the button. He's like, yeah, let's get Gerry.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
Oh
well,
God.
Gerry. Yeah, that's right. He's shaking now. He's like,
Cillian Rail. Is that Bone?
He's
great
like, I'm
movie,
not going
by the way.
tonight.
Are you an American Psycho fan?
American
Daniel?
Psycho, yeah, I've absolutely.
Okay.
Bateman, right? Yeah.
Yeah, dark comedy. Yeah.
Very much so. If you ever wanted to watch a really funny, great dark comedy, it's called Death to Smoochie.
Okay.
That is your homework for tonight. Robin Williams, Ed Norton, like a bunch of names.
Yeah.
Hysterical, but you got to be ready for dark comedy, right? It's definitely. It's not Home Alone. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Okay. All right. Is it a holiday movie?
No. It's about I'll give you just the major premise. It's about the seedy underbelly of children's programming.
Okay.
So it's just like them cutting each other's throat for top spot and where they're going to get to like perform and get ticket prices and sales and so on and so forth.
I get it. But the contrast of the wholesomeness of children's programming is what makes it.
There you go.
Yes.
You nailed it. Yes. It's super funny. And of course, Robin Williams is, he is beloved and missed.
He is very good. Yeah.
Well, Gerry, thank you, sir, for dropping by. This was a fun talk. I had a great time. Hope you did as well. Tell the people out there.
Thank you. I know this is one of your early episodes, so I'm feel very distinguished to be kind of in the the honor circle here of kind of the opening sequence.
Listen, you probably would have been first had Michal and Jacob not Michal was like just a random coincidence that we got together and made that first episode. And then Jacob, I think, saw that and reached out and was like, hey, I want to be on. I want to show this. I was like, okay, cool. So you were the first on my mind, but they just kind of beat you to it.
No, I mean, those are great guests for sure.
They were.
You're
phenomenal
killing
guests.
You're killing it, Daniel. Keep doing this work, man. I love this show.
Next week, we're going to have Kathy Chambers on.
Oh, all right. Hold on. I got a sounder. Oh, there we go. All right. Can you hear my soundboard?
I didn't hear it. No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear that one.
Oh my God! What kind of action am I doing here?
I don't know.
Whatever. But trust me, it was the anime. Wow. Okay. So anyways, I'm a big fan. Kathy Chambers is actually coming on to Simply Cyber Academy and doing a workshop with James McQuiggan in August. Yeah. So Kathy's really spreading her wings. Daniel, ask her about it when she comes on.
I absolutely will. It's funny. Somebody sent me a direct message in LinkedIn yesterday, day before, and they were showing me a picture of their laptop, and it was me and Kathy doing CEH, and that's where we met. That's where we became friends, and we just now here she is. So many years later, she'd never worked in cyber, never done anything with cyber, but you know what she did? She hustled. She had a good time with it. She's a cool person to hang out with. And I think she's a prime example of if you want a career shift and get into the cyberspace, this girl can tell you how to do it because I watched her do it. She knows how to get that hustle out there. So I would highly recommend everybody watch next week when Kathy comes on and ask her those questions, especially if you know some career changers.
Can you hear me?
Tell them to come this way. Yeah, I'm hearing myself now. But
I screwed up.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right.
All right.
Hello.
Thank you everyone for joining
Sorry.
us. Thank you, Gerry. It's okay. We're at the end of the show. We're just rambling at this point anyway. So we're going to let everybody go. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep hacking.